Podcasting with Ceri Jones.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's podcast. This week's guest is a passionate competition angler. He is currently coach of the Irish youth team, which recently had gold at the International at Llyn Clywedog. He talks about how the team won and tactics which brought them success. He also goes on to tell us of his brown bowl achievement at the Senior International at Lough Melvin last year. Plus, talks of his love of Lough Conn and Lene. Welcome to my chat with Denis Goulding.
Hello.
Hello, Denis.
How are you?
Not too bad. You well?
Oh, good, yeah.
Yeah.
And yourself?
I'm very good, thanks. I'm counting the days. I'm coming over myself on Wednesday.
I've seen your post. Yeah, you're coming over when? Wednesday.
Well, Thursday I'm actually travelling over.
Okay.
I'm going over to the west. So where are you based then?
I'm based in Nemi. I'll be in sort of nearly in the Midlands. I'll be just on the outskirts of Dublin. So I fish all the lakes. So where the Boyne is. That's where I am now. I'm born and bred in Dublin though.
Right. I thought there's a Dublin accent, a little soft Dublin accent there, I think.
Yeah, soft Dublin accent is right. Yeah, I've been out here too long.
Well, it's good to finally chat with you, Denis. I've been trying to get hold of you for quite some time.
Yes, I've been a little bit busy with the youths of late, but happy to be busy.
Well, the reason I wanted to get in touch with you, first things first, congratulations on a big win up in Clywedog.
Thank you very much. A team effort, as you know. Management staff, Eileen and Noel Farrar. Noel and his daughter did an awful lot of work before we even got there. And then the kids and the families that came with them, like big kudos to them for coming and putting the effort in. And of course, Julie, who's lining up to be the manager for next year, and the parents, the fishing parents, Andy Duncan, Tom Sweeney, and Dinger Murphy, they all helped us on the day. So yeah, it's a big team effort, and we were lucky. We had 175 fish on final day. Scotland 169, England 152, and Wales, I think it was 109. So yeah, we did really well. It's not our normal thing to do, fishing for stockies, but yeah, it was good.
So your position there, you're the team coach, yeah?
I am. I'm the team coach at present, yeah.
How long have you been coach?
Well, I helped out last year as coached, and then I had 11 years before that, before I went to America and came back with my work.
All right.
So I've done 13 stints now with youth.
Didn't the youth have gold last year as well?
The youth, yeah, we've actually done 3 on the trot.
I don't think that's been done before, is it?
It's never been done before in the history of youth, as far as I can know, or seniors.
That's quite an achievement, really, because especially on a water like Clywedog, like if you'd have asked me, I'm not really a betting man, but for anglers fishing Clywedog, you'd think the Welsh team would have been favourites, living on the water almost. Ireland, known for its really good quality wild brown trout fishing, you really turned things around and done the business in Clywedog.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, we had 2 days practice on that lake. That's all we had. And I'd never seen that lake before.
No,
I had people. No, I'd never seen it. I had some lads over there giving me ideas about the lake and whatever, and talking to people that had fished it before. But to be honest with you, I do what I normally do is I clear the canvas and do what I normally do. So, section off the lake. put methods in different parts, put kids on different parts, only give them X amount of flies, and we work from there. And day one is where, like, I'd love to have 4 days, but we only have 2 days. So the first day is to find out where the fish are and what methods they're on. And the second day would be to hone in on them. Yeah, it was the first time I'd ever seen that lake.
What do you think of the lake?
It's Russell and Gaza have done an amazing job for what they have out there. Like, I mean, it's stocky bass in heaven. It's not even that. Like, I mean, I know all about the beetle fishing and that. I've read about it. I've looked at videos. But if you go out there, you're going to catch. Yeah. You know, it's an ideal venue to have a youth competition on, because everyone knows where the fish are on final day. They are up big and up the other arm at the cages, and they came out of the dam on the second practice day. So there's really 2 or 3 areas that the fish were in, and that was it. Yeah, and everybody knew what they were, and it was up to the kids to battle it out on the playing field. And, you know, we were lucky. I mean, we weren't lucky. We did the work, but, you know, the kids really outperformed themselves. Like, some of our kids wouldn't fish in boats that often, and they'd be more bank anglers, but a few practice days, you know, qualifiers over here in Ireland, and then getting out with experienced anglers in the boats, it stood to them, and all they had to do was fish.
Do you know what? One thing I noticed when I looked at the results, nobody out of the 4 countries blanked, and that doesn't happen very often. So everybody did catch.
No, Gaza and Russell made sure of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of credit has to go to them for that match.
Yeah. So you know, when you find, I guess you get the trials over in Ireland to pick the team, knowing that it was going to be in Clywedog, did you fish it on the trials on like a stocked water, or where did you fish the trials to get in the team?
Right, okay, so we have a lake, I'm sure you've heard about Lough Lene in Collinstown.
Yeah.
It's a rainbow water. We won gold in it last year. It's one of my favourite waters in the country. It's top the water fishing, no matter when you go to it. Well, unfortunately, the day, we had practice days on it, but they're not your typical rainbow fishery. You won't be pulling lures at them. It'll be nymphs and it'll be dries. It won't be blobs and boobies, guaranteed. So our first try was on buzzers, I think, and the second one was on dries. We have to go to other venues to get the fishing, smaller venues to get the fishing that is in the UK, in Scotland, England, and Wales. We went to Lough Conn. The club secretary, Ceri, let us fish a practice day on it, and only for that practice day, our lads would not have been able to use deep sinking lines for probably the first time from a boat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's how hard it is for us.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the English, Scottish and Welsh can go to any lake really and fish them lines. We have to pick a venue and go and fish them lines with the team, which we had to do.
I haven't fished Lough Lene. I fished the other one.
So you have to come over in September. The last 2 weeks in September, Tommy Fagan and the Lough Lene anglers do an amazing job on that lake. It's unbelievable.
There's one rainbow water I fished over in Ireland, and that's Knockadary down by Waterford.
Knockadary, yeah.
That's a lovely water, but that's more suited. It's very similar to what we fish here as Chew Valley, and it's quite shallow all the way around. And there's hoppers, you know, shuttlecocks, dries, nymphs. Yeah, it's that sort of water, you know. I love the place. That's something special.
Well, Knockadary is a lovely fishery. It really is. Come over and fish Lough Lene. Super charged rainbow. It's really, really good fishing.
So, what would you say was the key thing it was down to? How you won gold?
How we performed? Teamwork. There's we're the 4. We're not the Irish team. We're made up from 4 provinces. Like, there's no Northern Ireland team. There's 4 provinces. We fish as the 4 provinces. So there's a group up in the north of Ireland in Ulster. Joe Owens and Damien Devine run a thing called Frogs, and they do a lot of tuition with the kids and bring them to a certain level with their casting skills and that, and then they come and fish the trials, and then we take them from there. Now, we had second caps and third caps on the team as well, and they know how to be, like, they've been coached before. It's all to do with coaching and kids listening to you and working as a team and figuring out things as a team. That's what it has to do with. It doesn't matter if you're the greatest angler in the world or the worst angler in the world. Once you get into this team thing, your fishing improves, your confidence improves. That's how we won it, because, you know, the kids listened. Stocky bashing is stocky bashing. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, in the pond, in the river, or whatever. You meet the fish and they be on colours, and then in the afternoon they go off colours, they go onto blacks, and then they might come back on colours when the boats disperse. It's not very scientific as regards, like, wild brown trout fishing would be a little bit harder. But if you get it into the heads that there's certain techniques that will work at certain times during the day, and, you know, they get confident in that, and then the kids actually talk together and have the crack together, and they have a great experience when they're on teams like this. Bonding, you know, it's bonding. Like, some of these kids have never met each other before. It's
knowing and having faith to change tactics where you've been catching on something. And a lot of people I know, they say they had 10 fish in the morning. They're afraid to change then. But, you know, stick through it, thinking they come on. But you need to change, knowing that, you know, the fish, if you want to still keep catching, you got to keep changing. So fair play.
Yeah, it's really adapting methods to each kid's ability as well. There's no point throwing them all out in die 7s or die 5s or die 3s, because they all can't cast them. You know, some of them can cast bar, some of them can't cast the as bar, so you have to adapt the technique to each individual angler, which is hard when you have 14 anglers. Yeah. And then you've got to adapt the flies they want to cast to what they're doing. And then when they change, like, it's more complicated than just what it seems.
Some anglers are more suited to different methods, maybe fishing better with dries and nymphs, and others will pull. So I suppose after the practice days, you know there were certain areas suitable for certain anglers to go to.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, the bung, like, I love the bung. I fish them here in Ireland. I get slagged all the time over it. I love the bung. I've caught fish in internationals here in Ireland, on Lough Mask, in Cushlock Bay even. The bung is something that is underrated. And it's a very skillful technique. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, I fish it a lot. So the bung, you have to fish it a certain way, certain times for the fish to react to it. Sometimes you want to stag, sometimes you want to move, sometimes you want, you know, to take on the drop. We had kids that could do that and kids that could not get that into their heads. So, as I said, you had to adapt stuff to different people. Like, I mean, the bung would go down, some of the lads would hit every one of them. Other lads just couldn't do it. So it's the same as any adult. Like, I mean, if I give a bung to a person who's never fished a bung before, like, you're going to absolutely wipe the walls with them. But if they can see what's going on, they get a bit of confidence, and the kids encourage each other. Like, I mean, the encouragement between the kids and the boats that I had out both days practicing was amazing. You know, like, they want each other to do well. But adapting, like, some of our guys went from die 7s to intermediates to catch fish. Other guys just stayed on intermediates all day. It was mainly, we had flies that were working. We had flies tied by Jackie Mann, Sean, Chris, Aidan. A lot of lads gave up time to tie flies for us. Now, we didn't use them all, but some of them worked for us. Yeah. Everybody has to give a bit.
Was it the bung that actually caught most fish?
No. No. That's the question everyone wants to know. No, it wasn't. Because I was coached, they were going, yeah, it must have been the bone. No. No, it wasn't. It was the washing line, twiddling and hanging.
Right.
And again, hanging is hanging. Like, everyone knows to hang. No, they don't. There's a way of hanging. And the kids, because they've been coached before, and then they're in boats with lads coaching them in the boat, hanging the flies is so important that day. Because the fish were being spooked, and they'd follow your flies to the boat, but they wouldn't take. But if you left it there long enough, they would.
Yeah, yeah.
And going from coloured flies, boobies, blobs in the morning, within an hour and a half changing to black flies, that kept your numbers coming in.
Yeah.
And that was the key, and hanging them and slowing down. In the morning, you could do whatever you wanted until they stopped pulling, and then, slow. Very slow.
Well done. One thing I picked up on, you were saying you were fishing the bung, but you were saying you fished it on mask.
I fished the bung anywhere.
What sort of flies would you use for that?
Buzzers. The buzzers hatch all year round.
Oh, buzzers.
People don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, there's something like 32 different subspecies of buzzers. Like, you don't always have to use grey eyes, duck fly, whatever. There's always, if you look in the barrel outside your back door, there's buzzers in it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mosquito buzzers, meat buzzers, whatever. They're always present. So when you get stuck into an area where nothing else is working, what do they normally feed on? Buzzer.
I was on the local lake here now this week, and there's not a great deal of fly. It's mostly a terrestrial water where flies get blown off. It's a mountain lake.
All right.
But out in the middle...
It's the same as Clywedog, so.
Yeah, more or less. And but you still see the odd dimple around the lake, So they obviously must take small buzzers. There are always buzzers in the lake.
Sure, there's always buzzers hatching no matter what lake. Lough Melvin isn't known for buzzer, but there's buzzer hatches in most evenings. There are buzzers hatching every lake in the world. Even during the winter, when I'm fishing the stock ponds, doing winter leagues and such, say 16, 18, 20 buzzers. They're always hatching.
Yeah.
But if they're not hatching, they're always present. Put it that way.
Yeah. It's encouraging that the youth are so strong, because I've been coming over for years now, and it's only last year I noticed for the very first time that I was there for best part of a month. And do you know what? I could count on one hand how many anglers younger than me I saw in the whole time I was out on the lake, And
it's a big problem we're having at the moment. We need to establish different hubs around the country in the different provinces, like frogs up north. Up in Ulster, sorry, not up north, up in Ulster. We need to have hubs around the country to promote, government funded to promote fishing.
Because I noticed
we really did.
The number of anglers which were on the lake, and a lot of them were dapping, there was a big percentage of them, they were 70 plus. Well, you can imagine in 20 years' time, they're not going to be around. And it's going to be a different scene.
Yeah, that's what I keep trying to tell everyone. Like, you're enjoying your fishing now, but, like, what about your kids and your grandkids, and why aren't they fishing? Like, it's really bad. I'm going away to Scotland now with the senior team, and I think 40 is the youngest on the team.
Yeah.
I used to be the youngest for years, like, and I'm an old man. I'm 48 now. I'm an old man now. But it's really bad to see what we have in Ireland and how little it's been used regarding fly fishing.
We've spoke of the international, and I want to touch on some info on yourself now. So you've obviously been a successful competition angler for a good few years now. How many caps have you got to your name?
I think it's 9 or 10 this year. I think it's 9 or 10. Yeah, 9. I think it's some. Yeah. Really, the caps don't really bother me. It's winning the gold medals for us, for Ireland to win the gold medal. It used to be like you've no chance. Now the last 3 matches I fished, I won gold and the brown bowl. So What's happened in Ireland over the last 6-7 years, I don't know. Well, I do. But other people don't understand that the Irish angler is now getting to travel to the likes of Brennick, Clapham, Rutland, all these waters where we never ventured before. Menteith, like there's 3 or 4 groups of lads in Ireland travel to the Menteith every year, the same to Brennick.
Yeah.
We're not getting better at what we're doing. We always could noon fish. We always could dry fly fish. But we never had waters that we could use deep sinking lines or proper washing line fish. So we travelled to all these places now. And I've been fishing competitions since I was 18. That's 30 years.
Yeah.
The Trout Fisherman magazine, that used to be my Bible because there was nothing else. The internet wasn't there. There was nothing. That was my Bible. Now most of the magazines are gone. You have your own one now. I actually have it here in front of me, the Flyfishing Journal. And there needs to be more of that around. Internet is all well and good, but having a hard copy of something is great to look back on and to read up, especially for the kids. But I do saying, I've been around a while. I've been lucky that my dad brought me into angling when I was young. It was probably his excuse to get going fishing, to be honest.
Did he fish the competition scene?
He used to, not anymore, no.
Right.
He's lots of Leinster badges. He qualified for his province so many times. He didn't actually get an international cap. He deserved one, but he didn't get one.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he used to fish them. Dad's now in his 70s. He loves the golf. He loves fishing. Loves Lough Conn, Lough Ennell. Lough Ennell's in the Midlands, a really hard lake, and Lough Conn in Mayo. I'm sure you know Lough Conn. Yeah. It's a lovely lake. It's 9 miles long. Like I used to spend 3. That's where he goes now to fish.
Right. I fished Ennell for the first time last year.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen your post up on that. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely water.
It's a lovely lake. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I missed a few fish. I didn't actually have a fish. We went for the evening, we did, and it was one of these wet evenings, but I'm going to go back there.
Typical Irish evening.
Maybe next week. I don't know, but there's so many things I want to do. I want to go to Conn if I get the chance. But one water I'm going to be fishing next week, or the week after rather, is Arrow. Have you ever fished Arrow?
Who are you going out there with?
Colin Dodd. And
there's some very good guides up that way.
Yeah, and I'm going to meet up with his dad because they've been doing boat hire for years. And another guy I'm going to meet up with as well is a photographer, Mike Bunn. Do you know the guy?
Okay. No.
Yeah, he's a fisherman as well. And so I hope to travel around, not just fish the Corrib. But going back to the magazine, yeah, it's sad. I used to work for Trout Fishing for years. Then he just fell off a cliff. Not just Trout Fish. I mean, like most journals, magazines, the sales went down because of the internet. But I think it's turning. And as you said, the Flyfishing Journal, I'm now the editor there, and I want to try and bring a lot more Irish content into it. It's available now in Easton's as well as online.
That's a big plus because we couldn't, my dad was asking me the last time I was in your magazine, he said to me, where can I get it? I said, well, you have to go to England to get it. You know what I mean? And now, because you have it in Easton's, it's much handier for us all. It's very good.
So you still compete now then? You say you're off to Scotland?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of in between now. I love the competition. So look, I live for competition fishing. That's what I do. I've always done it. I course fish as well. I do all sorts of other fishing, but yeah, fly fishing is what I love. I've been tying since I was 8. It's really, I just love the competitive side to angling. People don't like it. Some people love it. I thrive on it. I really thrive on it.
Yeah.
This one might be my last one. Senior. I want to try and dedicate more of my time to my 2 kids and get them onto the U team.
So they both fish at the moment, yeah?
They're starting. They can both spin and throw a line, but Patrick, he's 13. He can cast a little bit. Liliana, she's only 10. She can't yet, but she will. A couple of weeks' time, I'll have her thrown into rings.
So what is your local water you can see?
My local water is Lough Lene in Collinstown.
That is your local, yeah?
Yeah, it is my local. Lough Ul will be the other one, which is about similar distance, and Lough Ennell. My dad loves Lough Ennell.
Yeah.
But I would prefer Lough Lene. It's top of the water stuff. Lough Ennell's a great wild fishery, don't get me wrong. I spent half my youth in it with my dad. But Lough Lene, there are rainbows and browns in it, but the rainbows in it don't really behave like rainbows. They're more top of the water fish. And they've always been top of the water fish. So it's all dries, and like you will get them on washing lines, you will get them some days pulling lures, but I prefer, more like there's a huge movement of snails on it. They come up in their millions, and they're the size of a pinhead or a little bit bigger. And the fish will come up like mullet, sucking these in. And some days you can throw the kitchen sink at them. You will not catch them. I don't care who you are. And other days you will catch 30.
Well, perhaps I'll join you on Llyn Monday.
Oh, yeah. You have my number now. It's only 40 minutes from the house. It's a great, great fishery.
You mentioned as well Lough Ul. I did fish that once or twice years ago. Many, many years ago. There was an international there. And,
that's right.
I was over there for that. I wasn't actually in the team that year, but I went over, and I always remember we had fish. It was great. It was a nice water. But
it's after getting a lot better recently because they put strip lights into it. Strip light browns. Now, see the fish that are coming off Rutland, and you just look how lovely these are. They're coming off Lough Ul the very same, and the very same size. They're not the wild brown trout that I get on stealing every year, but they're the same as what you get abroad. They're savage fish. They just put every inch of food, every morsel of food goes into muscle and growth instead of into reproducing.
Tell me, have you fished Lough Ree?
I have not really. I couldn't say I have. No, my legs would be Sheelan. Yeah. I do okay on that. I've had the 9-pounder this year, the 9-pounder last year, loads of 8s, 7s, and 6s in the last 2 years. It's a savage lake. That is the cream of it. I go for 8 days every year, and I had a great time this year.
Would you fish it in August?
So I wouldn't fish it in August. I would be more. See, August time is more competition time. See, I don't get pleasure fishing anymore, which I want to return to because of all the competitions we do.
Yeah.
So you have your qualifiers, and then your provincial qualifiers, and then your interprovincial qualifiers, and then you get onto the Irish team, and then you have matches. And then you have all the preparation for the matches, and then you have team meetings, team days out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, no, I haven't fished Ray, Sheelan, Lean. I'd be fishing Lean an awful lot. But I'd head down the country every now and again and up the country, fish Melvin and that.
Yeah.
Ray is a very good lake that time of the year. And so is Sheelan. Yeah. Sheelan's starting to really be fished again now. Once our water over here cools down, the fish start feeding. You just can't fish for wild brown trout, except in the mayfly in flat cam and bright sunshine, which are my favourite conditions.
What would you say is your best achievement to date? The brown bowl, I guess.
Best achievement? No. Last week.
Was it?
Yes. Yeah, personal achievements like a brown bowl. Yeah, it's a fishing competition. You win it. Yeah, that's great. There was tears when I won it, but winning last week when You're not expected to win with 14 kids, smile on their faces coming in.
Yeah.
It was my biggest achievement. I won lots of things in my life. That was amazing. For us to go on the Stocky Bashing water, having 2 days on it, like a stocked water, I don't mean Stocky Bashing, a well-stocked water. The other teams had all the time in the world to fish it before us. I know teams were on the 3 weekends before us.
Yeah.
We had 2 days. Yeah. And for the kids to perform that way and respectfully win. Do you know what I mean?
So where is it next year?
We don't know. It's in England. So it's Draycott or Glasgow.
Oh, right. Are you going to be the coach again? They'll keep you on, no doubt.
Oh, well, if they want me to, I might, yeah. You know yourself.
Right.
Of course I will. If I'm asked, I will, because I believe in youth. The system that's there at the moment. If you work, like the lads I've worked with before in the youth system are now senior anglers, international anglers, some of the best. To see it come all the way through is great.
Yeah.
I would love to see more in the youth within Ireland. It's sort of a minority sport. It's not GAA, it's not rugby, it's not soccer. But it's a sport where, you know, you will make friends for life for just fishing one match with them. You know that yourself. Absolutely. You fish for your country.
Yeah.
And that group of lads will be friends forever. And I've seen it, like, I've seen the first hand lads from Mayo fishing with lads from Cork, travelling to meet each other 2 or 3 times a year. That's what it's all about.
I still fish with people I met 30 years ago.
Yeah, like when you sit in the boat with somebody and spend the day with them, it's just you and him or you and her.
Yeah.
Either you get on or you don't. And if you get on with them, that's it, you're friends for life. Do you know what I mean? It's great. And like, that's what it's all. It's not about winning with the kids. And it's not about this thing that's coming now, which is called the Grand Slam. We won in every other country now in the 4 nations, bar England, on the trot. So there's this thing about this. But there's no pressure. There's no pressure. It's up to the other teams to beat us. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we will do what we always do. We will try our best. And talking to the kids, like, I mean, some of our kids had, in the last 10 minutes, they had 2 or 3 fish, some of them each. You know, we had 2 kids on the team. We won by 6 fish. It was what? 175, 169, 152, and 109. We won by 6.
Yeah.
Our 2 lowest bags were 3 and 4. I brought them 2 kids up in front of everybody and I tagged them 2. They had 7. That one was gold. You know, they were in tears coming off. I said, lads, what's up?
Did I see a photograph of some of you jumping in the lake afterwards?
We couldn't do it this year. We weren't allowed. We did it last year.
It must have been an old picture I've seen somebody put a picture
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. All my stuff was safely secured in the van to go into the lake or into the bus, but unfortunately we didn't go in. We were told we weren't allowed. We were just told by management we couldn't do it this year.
All right.
But we will do it again next year. We'll do it in Draycott or Grafton, wherever it is.
I want to know more about this brown bowl as well. So tell me the story behind that and where it was and how you managed to get it.
So we were fishing. It was the first match back.
After COVID?
After COVID, yeah. So we'd done a lot of practice on it. And, like, I mean, the guys on the team were up and down from everywhere fishing Melvin. Now, Melvin's a strange lake, right? So you have salmon, which are the deep water fish, Daphne feeders. And you have brown trout, and you have ferox. So, and you have these things called gillaroo. Yeah. Have you ever seen a gillaroo?
I fished them and caught them in Melvin, yeah.
Yeah, they're golden bars of buller. They're absolutely... You can see one throwing your flies 20 yards away.
Usually in the sides, isn't they? Most of them.
Always in the rocks.
Yeah.
Always in the rocks. Except in mayfly time, you might get some taking dries off the top, but they're mainly in the rocks in the most rocky areas you can get into. So we went out and we did all the practice, and that was all well and good. And we came up with a plan. We were catching a lot of fish in practice days, but the weather was going to turn nasty. Now, when I say nasty on Melvin, it was probably the nastiest competition I've ever fished. It was just, the waves were huge.
I heard, yeah.
I fished Mast the last time, and Mast, one boat went over, and this was even worse where I was. Where I wanted to fish was, of course, I had to go to the worst part of the lake.
Yeah.
So I was going after gillies. That was my plan. Gillies, browns, and the odd time, maybe my fluke or gilly, or salmon, which would be out deeper water. So I had to be tight into the rocks. But, we did it. We had all the flies tied up. We went out, and I was lucky enough to get 7. A couple of lads got 5. The boatman was an absolutely amazing fellow. My boat partner is now the Scottish captain for this year, so I'll meet him again. But yeah, the team worked really well, and I was lucky enough to get a brown ball, which I always wanted. Everybody wants a brown ball.
So they were all Gillaroo you had?
I had 4 Gillaroo,
wow,
2 browns on the salmon. Oh no, I fished in the rocks.
Yeah,
in the rocks, basically in the rocks. And it was so windy that day. It was hard. When you were pulling back your line, it was going out of the boat.
Yeah.
It was that bad. My Scottish partner, an amazing individual to pull up with while I pulled him through that day. And my boatman the same. It was nasty. It took us an hour and 15 minutes to get halfway back to where we were going sideways on the wave because you couldn't go into the waves.
Yeah, I remember the international day. There was a few boys I know from Wales going over, and they thought they were going to cancel it at one stage, didn't they?
Yeah, if you drove straight across the lake to the far side, you were fishing fine all day, and all you had to do was drive in. But of course, me being me, I wanted to go where I wanted to fish, where I knew the ground. And we did months and months of work on that. Darren was the captain, Darren McGuire. Bilal, the local club, Garrison, Lough Melvin anglers. The amount of work they put in that international just to hold the event there. Big Ceri, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I'll always be thankful for them. It was a great time. But, a brown ball, it's great to have it. It really is just a trophy, but it's a trophy that not many, I think there's 16 Irish lads ever won the brown ball.
Yeah. Oh, nice to have.
Oh, it is, yeah. I'm delighted to have it. It'll always be there. But as I said, things change in your life, and I'm going to sort of try a bit more with the youths from now on.
That leads me on to my next question. You've achieved so much. Have you got any goals left? I got a feeling I know what it's going to be.
I'll probably see my son get a sports senior cap.
All right. Yeah.
Or my daughter. But me, myself, will be the Grand Slam away.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say
but
that.
Then again, but then again, it's only a trophy. It's more about the participation for the kids in the sport. You know what I mean? I'd love to get a brown ball in the UK as well. As in, there's one going this year in Menteith, and by God, I'll try for that one. It's okay winning one at home, but win one away is something different. But no, really, I don't have that many more goals. I see my kids fish and make friends, seeing the Irish youth team continue in the same strain and competing on a high level.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, me go out and try and catch a few fish. It's all good. I don't think I need to prove anything anymore. I've done most of what people want to do. like, I'd love to start writing again in the magazines. I've written the Irish Anglers Digest for 15 years. I did a few articles for some other companies.
The Irish Angler's not going no more, is it?
No. The Digest stopped a good few years ago now. Yeah, about 10 years ago, yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Like, yours is the only one really left, apart from trout and salmon.
Yeah.
Fly fishing and fly tying, but like, fly fishing and fly tying there's nothing in there for me. Trout and Salmon's a lovely magazine. I wish they'd do more on the trout. It's a lot of salmon based stuff. But your one covers a whole range of different things. But you give advice to the kids as well in here. Every time I look at it, there's young people in the sport being.
Yeah. Well, what I've decided to do, starting from this issue, actually, is to have a youth spotlight on it. And we had one of your teammates, or team members. We had Aina in it. Yeah. So each month, each issue now, we're going to get somebody from a different country to get more youth into it as well, you know. But I want to get a lot more Irish into the issue. We've got, I got a couple lined up now. In this issue just gone, the one that's out now, is Peter Boyle. I don't know if you know Peter Boyle from Monaghan.
I do.
Yeah, what a great angler. Great thinking angler, you know. And I've known him for a few years now. We've done a nice little piece on sedge fishing. But yeah, I'm glad that it's for sale in Eastlands as well, because I think there's market there for a great audience in Ireland as well, you know.
Well, there's no other magazines. There's only a few of them, like, and a new magazine will always be bought and looked at. And once it looks like that magazine you have, there's a lot in it.
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed the chat, and we eventually got it together. But there's one more question now to finish off. Is where would you want to be to make your last cast?
Probably my last cast. Probably on Lough Conn, on the Woodsford Shallows. I've spent a lot of time there. I used to spend 3 weeks every year on it. All my holidays when I was young, free and single. I've had so many memories on it. I won a boat, my dad's won a boat. I spent a lot of time with my dad on it, his mate, which are now my mates. It's always been there. And the fish that live in Lough Conn. Now, they've got smaller in recent years, but they used to be big, golden, buttery, red spotted fish. Amazing fish. Just the memories. It's what fishing is all about to me is memories. It's not accolades. Like, I like getting the accolades. It's the memories and the people you meet. Like, I go down to Lough Conn and I'm like a local. It's great to be accepted. I don't feel like, I'm a tourist. So that's why it's friends, near enough family, and just the memories and that, like, that'll be the place.
Well, thanks for the chat.
And thanks very much for contacting me and promoting the youth. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome, Dennis. I'll be in touch soon.
All right, mate. Take care. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dennis. Bye now. If you've enjoyed this podcast and want to listen to more, please consider becoming a Patreon, where you'll get weekly podcasts and access to over 140 episodes, behind-the-scenes photography to go with each episode, plus other exclusive content and prizes. To become a Patreon, visit patreon.com/casting with Ceri Jones, or you can find the link on my website, castingwithcerijones.com. That's all for now. Tight lines, and may they always be up in the wave.